everybody. So we're going to be hitting up the minerals now. We went over all the vitamins, all the major groups, so now we're going down to the minerals. The first one today we're going to go over will be calcium. Calcium, we all know, is common in milk products. Most of us know that it's good for your bone health. It's good when you're a child for developing bones, and then it's good for bone maintenance whenever you get older. So that's usually pretty much the gist of what everyone knows about calcium, but calcium does so much more in the body. It helps with muscle function, nerve signaling, and blood clotting. So it is essential in all those realms to get a dietary intake of calcium. And then 99% of body calcium is stored in the bones and the teeth. So 99% of the calcium that you take in goes to your bones and your teeth for storage. So that's where almost all the calcium is going to go in your body. It'll be used for other small functions as well. In muscle function, it enables muscle contraction, and that also is including the heart. So right there, it just tells you how essential it is. The recommended dietary allowances for 19 to 50 years old, it's 700 milligrams a day. For men 51 to 70 years old, it's 1,000 milligrams a day, and women in the same age category, 51 to 70, it's going to be 1,200 milligrams a day. And then if you're 71 or older, you increase your intake to 1,200 milligrams a day regardless of sex. And then you want to also have a higher intake when you're pregnant. 1,000 to 1,300 milligrams a day will suffice for during pregnancy. In pregnancy, you'll have increased needs naturally because you're storing for two and maintaining for two. Foods that are high in calcium are going to be like milks, yogurts, cheeses, and then some of your fortified products like cereals, orange juice, and stuff like that. Then veggies that have calcium in them are kale, broccoli, and spinach. And then legumes and nuts, almonds, tofu, and white beans will have calcium as well. Hi everybody, we're going over calcium today. This is going to be the first one of the minerals that we're going to be going over. And then enhancers of calcium absorption will be vitamin D. So vitamin D from the sun or even from food is complementary to calcium, so it'll increase your absorption. So it's good to, combine the two. The stuff that will inhibit absorption of calcium will be like oxalates, and that can be found in spinach and also in like grains and stuff like that. So it's just something to consider and go over. So then in the supplement form, there's two different forms of calcium for supplements. The first one will be calcium carbonate, and that is 40% calcium, and it needs stomach acid to break it down. So it is recommended that you take it with a meal, so it can get its maximum absorption. And then there's calcium citrate, which is 21% calcium, and it's better absorbed in low acid and does not need to be taken with food. So depending if you're taking it with food or without, depending on your circumstances, but that'll be the difference between the calcium carbonate will be 40% calcium and calcium citrate will be 21. So that's about half of what the calcium carbonate has. So you will be getting more with the carbonate supplement. And then a dose, if you're doing supplements, would be around 500 milligrams because you are going to be still getting some in your food intake. So if we're aiming for about 1,000 a day, give or take, then the supplement of 500 would suffice. And then preeclampsia prevention. With adequate calcium intake, you may be able to prevent getting preeclampsia during pregnancy. So if that's something that you're struggling with or struggled with in a previous pregnancy and plan to get pregnant again, something to consider is to have an adequate calcium intake so you can avoid that issue. And that's the perfect example of us saying, like, we're trying to be preventative. We want to not get sick and then try to fix it. We want to prevent getting sick. So that's the perfect example of why having a well-rounded diet is so important. And then it can reduce colorectal cancer if you take adequate calcium. So that's another reason, you know, to just include it into your diet. Deficiencies in children, it may affect like bone development, and even in adults it can cause like osteoporosis, which is weakening of the bones. So all throughout life, calcium intake is very important. And then deficiency symptoms will include muscle cramps, numbness, tingling, fatigue. So just that's something to look out for. If maybe you feel like you're getting deficient, that could be symptoms to look for. And then people that are at risk for deficiencies will be like postmenopausal women, vegans, people who are lactose intolerant, or even people that have like absorption disorders. Stuff like that can affect your absorption of all things, not just calcium. So it's important to just keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions, so the vitamin D deficiency, you can look for like muscle cramps, numbness, tingling, and fatigue will be some of the deficiency symptoms. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate you guys being here. If you're just joining us now, we've gone over all of the vitamins. Now we're going over the minerals. We've also gone over all of the major nutrients, the macronutrients, which will be carbohydrates, protein, and fat. And what we're doing is we're just trying to educate ourselves so we can have the information and try to be preventative and make ourselves healthier in a natural way. It's not always about this, that, or the other. Sometimes it's about taking this, that, and the other out and just getting back to the basics. So that's what this information's for. It's just to give you the knowledge that you need to help identify issues that you might be having. And it could be as simple as a simple dietary change that can totally help the issue that you're having. So we will be going over all of the other minerals. The minerals isn't something that we learned a whole lot about in dietetics, to be honest with you guys. We learned more about the vitamins than the minerals. But minerals, you have to always be cautious because minerals can be toxic in big amounts. So it is something just to consider. And if your body's not feeling right, anything like if you get a headache, if you're getting pain in a certain area, that is your body telling you like, hey, pay attention, something's going on here. And so many of us just ignore stuff like that. We think, oh, it's just chronic pain. But it could be because of a medication you're taking, something that you're exposing yourself to, or something that you're eating that is not good. There's just so many different factors. So that's why instead of getting overwhelmed by all the information, we're just trying to like hone in on the simple stuff, you know, like just keeping it simple is sometimes the smartest thing that you can do and the healthiest thing that you can do for your body. It's not always about, like I said, powder, supplements, and this and that. It's about, first and foremost, you want to eat some fruits and vegetables. No one's going to eat the recommended intake. That's just crazy. If I would eat as many fruits and vegetables as the food pyramid recommends, then I would be extremely overweight. So we just want to include some fruits and vegetables. A slow increase is good. Some is better than none. It's good to use veggies as like something to add to supper, so you can add some bulk to your supper without adding a whole lot of calories. You want to minimize, butter. In our house, personally, we use butter more than we use oils whenever we're sauteing. Oils, it's just not something that we use a whole lot in the kitchen, and now it's coming out that they're not the healthiest, so it's just always good, even though it's called vegetable oil. Everyone's like, oh, vegetable oil, it must be good, it has the word vegetable in it. We have to wise up, we have to educate ourselves, and just be able to relate the information into the grocery store. So, like with calcium is going to be in more of dairy products. So when you're thinking calcium, think dairy. And then fortified. Fortified is things that they add vitamins and minerals to. So fortified cereals. We recommend the non-sugary cereals. One of the biggest schemes ever was saying that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. That was Kellogg's trying to make the big bucks. Breakfast is not that important. If you're not hungry, do not force feed yourself. Force feeding yourself, and then also keep this in mind for your kids as well. Kids go through different stages of growth, and when a kid is about to hit a growth spurt, they will be very hungry, and after the growth spurt, they won't be as hungry. So it's important not to force feed yourself or your children. What happens is, if you force feed yourself, then you'll start to ignore your internal hunger cues. And if you lose that sensation to identify when you're hungry, then people just like eat out of habit. It's like, don't eat breakfast because they told you to. You eat if you're hungry. You eat if maybe you have a long morning before lunch and you need the energy. The best thing you can do for breakfast is just grab a fruit on the way out, and then boom, you have your fruit for the day. Have a little bit of energy, a little bit of sugar. And then what happens is, the first thing that you eat during the day gets your metabolism going and gets it started. So once you start eating, that is one of, I would say, the only major benefits to eating breakfast is to get an early start on your metabolism. But as for me, with my calorie range, like, breakfast is just not included in my calorie range, unfortunately. And I'm not ever really real hungry in the morning. And what I like to do is eat a moderate lunch. It's easier to walk away from lunch and just to get busy with work than it is to walk away from supper. So have your biggest meal at night, and try to limit snack intakes. That's what we've been fighting with in our house. I don't know, are we the only people that have zero self-control when it comes to snacks? It's like, oh man, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, because we just have to keep snacks out the house. That's the only way that we have any self-control whatsoever. I know that we can't be the only ones, but it's really about just maintaining, keeping yourself accountable, and realizing that you're the one feeding yourself. You are not a victim to the food. You're a victim to your own choices. So we have to make good choices for ourselves and do what's best, because one small change in your diet every single day, one small change in your diet every single day can improve your health status. And one bad decision every day can make your health status decline. So that just goes to show the importance. But we will be going over all of the other minerals. If you haven't checked it out, we've gone over all of the vitamins. And then we're just giving like little nutritional talks so we can help you guys have the information and do with it what you decide. We're not telling you like, hey, do this, hey, do that. We just want you to have the information so you can have it in hand and refer back to it whenever you do need, or if you're identifying a problem in your diet or you're not feeling well. If you go through the videos and kind of try to match up, okay, well, these are my symptoms and these are symptoms of a deficiency in calcium, so let me go add calcium to my diet and see if the symptoms improve. Like that's really how we figure it out. It can be complicated, and it's hard to identify a specific culprit when we're putting in so much stuff into our bodies every day. So minimizing is really the best way, and doing micro adjustments and trying to figure it out from there. If anybody has questions, let me know. Talking about hooping at first when I was reading it, because I am a hopper. We do hula hooping, health and wellness on this channel, and that's pretty much what we're about. And we do some, art with the production of my hula hoops comes art along with that, so that's always fun. I have a video I just finished. If you want to go check it out on my website or on my Etsy, we just finished this UV neon tie-dye painted hula hoops, and they came out awesome. It's all the neon colors. It's gonna be like neon pink, neon yellow, neon blue, neon green, and it's in like a tie-dye design, I would say, similar to tie-dye. That's the closest thing that we could like identify it with. But they are all spray painted by me, and my husband helped me on this batch. But I have them already listed in my shop. I will be posting a video of us producing them maybe later tonight. I kind of worked at it at lunch today. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it, but if you do see a video of the UV neon spray painted hoops, go check it out. You can see the process behind it. We've already done like with the basic colors, like the actual rainbow colors. We've already done a tie-dye batch, and everybody absolutely loved them, so we sold out. So that's why we did this new batch, but we thought it would be fun to add just like a little difference. So I did get the UV paint, so it will be like blacklight responsive. So if you do hoop with your black light on, the hula hoop will have like a glowing effect. But yeah, so that's kind of what we've been up to this week. I also have my skeleton scenes going on. You can go check out my shorts for that, but we have 2 skeletons, and we're going to be putting them in scenes in the yard. As of right now, they're hanging on the porch. Probably going to have me a beer ready when I get home. But so we're just going to do different scenes. So if you have any ideas for that, please let us know. We picked it up from a house that I used to pass by on the way to work. They did all of these different scenes with these 2 skeletons. It was like such a simple concept, but so creative. I would look forward to passing by every day, so we decided to do it for our neighborhood. So we're gonna do like a couple examples of what they did. They did like a workout day. One was like doing jumping jacks, the other one was doing push-ups. They had them working in the yard. So like, I'm gonna put the skeletons maybe washing the windows, or like with the Roundup in the yard. Just like little things like that. We'll change the scene every couple days, once or twice a week until Halloween, and hopefully our neighbors will enjoy it as much as I did whenever I saw it. It was a couple years ago, and I was hoping that they would do it again, and it just never popped up. So I decided this year that to get my little skeleton scene fixed that I would do it myself. So that's kind of what I've been working on all week. I taped all of the rainbow tie-dye hoops. You have to like put a clear tape overlay on them to protect the paint. So I worked on that all day yesterday, and they are listed on our website. I have them up to size 38. Most of them are smaller, but as of right now, if you do want a bigger hoop, definitely go check it out and grab the few that we do have in the bigger sizes. But, and also, like, if y'all ever have any ideas for hoops, like, I just ordered some Lisa Frank stickers. So I'm going to be doing like a Lisa Frank batch. I'm not exactly sure what the undercoat will be, if any. I'll have to kind of play with the stickers and see. But we've also done like hydro dipped hoops. We had like a baby pool and we hydro dipped them, and those were like a really hot hoop. It was just kind of hard to do because of the big diameter to get like the paint where you wanted it, but I do need to do another batch of those because they really were a good seller. But we've done like a leopard print, abstract stuff, just like anything that you can dream of. But if you ever have any ideas for like something custom that you want, I love doing custom stuff. It really like helps me when people give me input, so I can get my wheels turning and get my creativity on. So like I said, if you guys ever have any ideas, always let me know, and we might be able to make hoop magic together. But as of right now, calcium will be our mineral of the day. That's what we went over. So we want to try to just pay attention to the dairy section whenever we're at the store. And then greens like kale, spinach, white beans, almonds, salmon, stuff like that has calcium in it. And then if you do the supplements, just remember, depending if you're taking it with food or not, to adjust your supplement accordingly. And then we'll go over all of the other minerals as we go, just one at a time. We like to cover everything slow so you can really understand it and take it in. And if y'all ever have any questions specifically about diet related stuff, I'm always open ears, even if like you think some of the information that I'm giving is not correct. Always it's good to debate opinions and ideas, because all of the information that we get online is not always correct. Even some of the stuff that we learn in textbooks is not always correct. And it's good to have an open debate about things and really try to share ideas in a respectful manner. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So I will catch y'all on the next live, and look out for my UV and neon rainbow painted hoop video. It'll definitely be this week sometime, maybe even tonight. See you guys later.